It's Oklahoma Archery. Everything archery based out of Oklahoma for Oklahoma. Let's get it started. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everybody. This is David Bosca.
I'm Neil Cooley, and we don't know what time of day it is.
That's right. We're here doing another podcast. They've been few and far between, but we got good reasons. Yeah.
We've been busy. Dave's been throwing turkeys in every direction and seasoning, and I've been crawling in and out of the woods and trying to keep a day job. And we just wanted to hop on and kind of check in with everybody, talk about some new products, some new events, and some new, just new archery stuff.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the products and everything, yeah, I've been busy. I know that for a fact. Everybody likes to cook a little turkey this time of year, and I kind of like to put the stuff or get the stuff in the mail that they want to put on it. So I get that. So yeah, I've been busy with that, and which actually kind of helped me. I've been trying to take care of an injured wing, so I didn't mind being a little slow on the shooting, but yeah. Shot my first thing this weekend up at Oakeyland. Went and shot his, what do you call that? A turkey
Gobbler Classic.
Gobbler Classic.
First annual Gobbler Classic.
Yeah.
That's a
nice turnout. I think he had liked, I don't know what he had liked, but I think he could have sustained another 10 shooters. But ran 2 lines, flowed real well. Everything was real good. So yeah, I thought it was a fun, good shoot. First time I'd been out in a couple months shooting.
I saw he had some hoodies made for it. I'm like, that's the way that's how you advertise an event right there. Get you a big logo on the front of it. And I think, was he giving them out to winners of some of the smaller divisions, or?
I think if there was 3 or more in a class, they might get one, but I'm not sure. I seen one hanging, but I think it might have been a Carhartt jacket.
Oh wow.
I think so. I didn't jump in and try it on because I wasn't too worried about it.
That'd been good. So we had Kyle Anderson from G2 won, and I know, what was it, Bryn and Chris Sanders second and third, or Chris and Bryn second and third?
Chris, I think second, Bryn, I think third.
Okay.
Yep. And
we had Jack Shaw was fourth, and Austin McDowell was fifth. So good to see Austin back on the line. He's coming off a hip replacement at 30 years old. So he's been kind of coming back. And Jack, I don't know if he's 14, 15 years old, but he's absolutely a killer. He was one of the kids on our shoot down. We had our live stream. Yeah. He's the dude with the little flat billed hat right there. That kid can shoot. I wouldn't want to have to shoot against him any day. Not on my best day.
Yeah, the gentleman should said right before that, come back from the hip replacement, he shot right beside me, right behind me on the line. And I was telling him, take your time getting up there. I don't mind at all. I'm old. I like going slow. So, and I proved it.
Yeah, and he's not shooting a light bow either. I think he's got one tuned down coming up for not this next weekend, but 2 weekends from now is the Frozen Okie. I think there are still a few spots. Last I checked, there was 3 or 4. That's been 5 or 6 days ago. So double check with Andrea Waldridge. We want to see that one fill up. I think they're going to have to find a bigger venue next year, which is a good and a bad thing. We love doing it over there at Archery Traditions in Yukon. Ken and the guys have a beautiful indoor facility. They set it up for indoor 3D a lot, but they can also sustain a whole bunch of indoor big long lines. So you hate to see it move, but you love to see it grow. So yeah. We're going to be there. I know Dave and we're going to try to run the podcast live stream, try to get some different camera angles and everything like that. But yeah, we just kind of want to invite everybody out. And side note, congratulations to Andrea. She does a whole bunch for archery in Oklahoma. I think she was just named the S3DA Western Tournament Director, so national level director position. Absolutely, they hit it out of the ballpark with that one. I know everybody here's excited to kind of see what she can do with that. So
congratulations. Yeah, we'll have to get her on the live feed and get her talking just a little bit about that. That'll be fun.
She's the one that runs with Samantha the Joad series, but she was stuck being a line judge last time. So she puts on the indoor, she judges it. Now she's putting on the outdoor stuff, the 3D stuff. So she does a little bit of everything. So special shout out to Andrea for dedicating a whole bunch of time to everything. It takes a whole lot to put these things on, and you love seeing your Oklahoma people get promoted into positions where they can do more. Like,
yeah. And if there's anything anybody wants us to bring up, to talk about, or to help fill airtime while we're live doing that, man, shoot over in the comments right here, and that'll give us a little heads up and something to do. If you want to watch us play checkers, that's fine too. But hey, the game on the range is what we're there for. But we don't mind at all sitting and talking.
We're trying to not leave the mic muted, so you're just watching muted archery, but it's also kind of tricky to have a hot mic going for 3 or 4 hours at a time when you don't know who's sitting next to you or what they're going to say. So we're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place as far as we want you to have some audio, but we don't exactly know what audio is going to get thrown out there. So we're also trying to be mindful of that. You never know who's watching out there. You get people's grandma, grandpa, little brother, little sister out there watching somebody shoot, and you just never know. It's an archery tournament. Yeah. There have been some things said on the line before.
Say the word dang might be used.
Yeah, there's no 3-second delay. There's no censor. So it's kind of
right.
Yeah.
And we got to be mindful also, folks, of music in the background. They will take your live cast down if the shop is playing music that we haven't paid for.
Yes. Yes. Somebody clarify with me out there. If you put the term that I do not own the rights to any of this music, sometimes they'll let you do it, and but somebody's got to remind me to do that. I'm running around scatterbrained. So if anybody knows if that works or not, or if that's an actual solution, I'm just telling people, look, it's the music or the live feed. You got to pick. Because I can't jeopardize my ability to broadcast and stream and that kind of thing. So if you want us to mute it, crank some tunes. Some indoor tournaments are doing that. I do enjoy, like Bartlesville, the Aero Shop. They've always got classic rock playing or something like that. So, y'all chime in, let us know. We don't want to be a burden. We just want to kind of promote archery, but I definitely don't want to get any copyright infringement strikes on the channel.
Yeah, you don't want me karaoke to the music. I promise you.
Tell you what. So let's want to go through just a little bit of a list here for where we're going to be coming up.
I like that.
If anybody hasn't seen the new schedule, we took all the dates that Gale Steele put out for the OSAA. They had their big banquet. So all the state level OSAA tournaments are on there. All of the local shops, the indoor stuff. You got Wagner on there. You got Dewey. You got Arrowhead. Those have all been added. So we are booked up every weekend. December, you've got the 6th through the 8th, the Frozen Okie at Traditions. Should be a couple spots open. On the 7th, only, that's a Saturday, Arrowhead Archery is doing an NFAA 300, 9-1. On the 8th, the Sunday, there's a shoot up in Kansas, just north of us a little bit. That's a big jackpot money shoot. December 14th, one day only, the USA Archery Indoor Series #2 at the Aero Shop in Dewey. That's Miles and Kelly. Also on the 14th, Wagner Archery is having a Vegas 300, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Usually you call Roger Hayes to pre-register. That didn't make it onto the flyer, but I think he still does. So give Roger Hayes a call out at Wagner Archery. Tell him Neil sent you, and ask him to tell you a bunch of stories about me that aren't true. 21st and 22nd of December, Oakeyland, Vegas, 360, Saturday, 9-1, Sunday at 1. That's also the same weekend as the Iowa Pro-Am. If anybody's going up there, looks like the 28th and 29th of December is open. Let's just go on to January because it's going to be here before you know it. On the 1st, every year on the 1st, Tulsa Archery Association, the Tom Thomas Memorial Vegas 360. That's usually a payback shoot. Tom Thomas was a great guy. He was always hanging out at the archery range. We're always going to do that New Year's thing. New Year's Day, Tom Thomas Memorial. The 4th, Wagner's having the Shorty Hill Memorial. That's an NFAA 300, lines at 10 a.m. and 1. That's the same weekend as the Rushmore Rumble for all you traveling folks. Next weekend on the 11th, Arrowhead Archery's Vegas 300, 9 a.m. and 12. That same weekend, USA Archery State Indoor. I believe that's a location to be determined. Double check that date. Next weekend on the 18th only, January 18th, USA Indoor Series number 3, also at the Aero Shop. Same weekend, you got NFAA Indoor Sectionals, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Line times on all those. I think it's either at Oakeyland or Arrowhead. I'm not sure. And then the last weekend of Vegas, you got the Lancaster Classic. And for everybody that doesn't go on the 25th, you've got the Aero Shop in Dewey hosting the Vegas 300. Lines at 10 a.m. and 1. Man, that's a lot of archery between December and January.
Yeah, I'm just glad to feel like I can participate. We're getting there, and I have yet to hear you say anything about anybody wanting to do a 3D in this Oklahoma weather. So hey,
I had a guy last night ask about doing a snowball classic. His name's Keontae Edwards. He's way up in the northeast corner, and he's trying to put on something. And he goes, yeah, let's see who can bundle up and shoot. Let's pick the coldest day. I'm like, well, we got indoor just about every weekend, but if you got targets, man, I bet we could set them up outside old Wagner or somewhere like that. That'd be great. It's like, hey, guys, you came for indoor. Bring your hunting bow, see who can stand out there in the cold for 20 minutes and shoot as many arrows as you can before your fingers freeze.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah, that's going to be, they got some big plans up in the northeast corner, but we're going to be everywhere this year. So y'all enjoy indoor season. Y'all go support these ranges. They're either taking time out of the deer woods or taking time away from their family during the holidays. We want to see all of you. We're going to try to bring the podcast to as many of them as we can, space allowing, Wi-Fi allowing, all things considered. We're going to try to get your kid on camera. We're going to try to get you shooting your bow. Hopefully it's during a good end, trying to go down and interview different bales at a time, but you don't want to make anybody more nervous shooting than they already are. So just kind of stuff we're planning.
We'll interview the judges then. We'll find out how they're doing in between. And FYI, at the Frozen Okie, we're going to have some good munching going on there.
Yes. Shout out to our buddy Heath Franz. Going to have Big Daddy's Burger Shack there on Saturday.
I think Saturday. I don't know about Friday.
I don't know about Friday. I don't know about Sunday. Saturday for sure.
Yeah, Saturday for sure. Maybe we can do some advertising swapping and show some and eat some right there on live and everything, and maybe they'll come out if they're just in the Yukon area. Drive on over and grab a burger. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say he'll be set up out front. Yeah. Quick turnaround time. He's trying to get people back on the line, so make it worth his gas coming out.
That's right.
So Dave, what have you been tinkering on? What have you been shooting?
Well, I was shooting same old PSE. Just in case Wilma's watching this and everything, it's the same old white bow. I told someone that this weekend. I've got the new Dominator Duo X and everything, and someone, I think it was old Kyle Anderson, was I was telling him, I said, yeah, wife always asks, what are you shooting now? And I keep telling her, same old white bow. I might change, but it's still a white bow. So hey, I can always slide right through the truth and serve on that, but I tore up my shoulder. I thought I'd truly completely ripped a rotator, but I didn't. So I got lucky there. And I was out. I didn't shoot for 5 weeks, I think, maybe 6, but I think 5. And when I picked it back up, I will tell you what, things just felt different. I felt like truth serum got into me, and I think I had set up a bow incorrectly. I started lengthening it out. I did change releases. I went to a new back tension. And I actually kept telling myself I wanted to change my hand position. I felt like I had it too hot. And on occasions, I was scared to grab it, for lack of better words. I was afraid to touch it. So I changed that position into my hand. And it just morphed on down from there. I tinker here and there and feel like I made good choices, but sometimes I often wonder. Yeah.
I kind of did the same thing. I tried a buddy of mine named Austin Robertson's Exodus, and it held so good. And I set the peep sight up on mine the same way, burger hole the same way, draw length the same way, just about similar bars. and it was just high enough that I think it was making me pull down like this, kind of feeling it like right in there.
Yeah.
But just a little stretching, you get your arm behind you and try to touch that opposite shoulder blade like that and kind of tilt that head, and you can feel it right in there. So just a little bit of preemptive stuff, making small circles, making big circles with your arm. Y'all take care of your shoulders. Y'all take care of them. I know everybody wants to pull 70 pounds, but you can hurt yourself. I thought it was because I'd started rigging up my 3D bow at 69 and a half, 70 pounds. And I thought it was a draw weight problem. It's making me bark, and it's like, okay, so I started setting up the indoor bow about 53, 54 pounds. And sure enough, had shot one Sunday down there, and it just started it was just sore again. So I think it was more of a peep sight height being up here causing me to pull differently. So longer draw length and a different here to here to get that peep sight. Man, something was off.
It was eating at you, was it?
Yeah, I've got my biofreeze spray in the drink holder of my quiver, so I'm just hoping it's nothing structural, but a little bit of stretching, a little bit of ibuprofen, that kind of thing. We can get you back through indoor season at least, and hopefully not have to hunt with a crossbow next year.
Yeah. Speaking of that, you had a good season hunting too.
Yeah. Had a good buddy come in from out of town, kill his first whitetail deer over the weekend. So I was suspiciously absent from an indoor event. Had nothing to do with the fact that I can't shoot and am terrified of shooting an arrow through paper. But had a out of town buddy. He's the guy that he heard our podcast and he goes, "What's your address? I'm gonna send you a mic. I'm tired of you sounding dumb and in bad audio quality." So shout out to Carlos, my good buddy, my fraternity brother from Louisiana. We got a lot of good people from Louisiana in the Oklahoma archery community. Shout out to Bren having the Gobbler Classic. Hate to miss it. Try to be there next year for it. Hate to miss any of these, really. But you got to take time for yourself. You got to take time to let your shoulder heal. And like I went to that Joad thing, and I said, "This is the weirdest thing ever," because I'm at an archery tournament not to shoot. It's strange to me, but something to make the day go by.
Yeah. They were asking where you is at. Let's see. Well, I can't say on the air what they were calling you. I think let's just say chicken. That's probably was a kind way to put it.
Oh yeah. I say I made the last shoot off on Wednesday as the 5th seed after shooting like a smoking 293.
Yeah.
made it in as the 5th seed, and I was trying to reposition the cameras and start doing the audio for the live stream, and I just couldn't hold. I think I shot a 8, a 7, a 9, a 12, a 9, and an 8. I think was my 6 arrows. Just couldn't get it together. Couldn't hold. Had my peep sight twist. Had to let down 3 out of the 6 arrows. I was like, I think it was so bad. Dan quit calling arrows. He was like, "That's us." I was like, "I got it, Dan. I know where I can see it. I can see it down there touching blue." But I had just the most epic of meltdown, and it was going good. I think the peep sight was a little high. I'd went back this weekend and changed the scope out to a dot from a pin for the Okie. Got a new scope in. Shout out to Jared Shattle, a good buddy up north. Sent me a shrewd Optum so I could put a dot on it and not have to pull pin fiber. And I was just low in it. I was looking through the bottom of my peep sight and I was like, let's cut that thing out of there. Moved it down, put a half twist in the limbs, moved the peep up, tried to draw stop number 3 instead of 2. That about took the arrow away from me. Put another full turn in it to get the holding weight up, went back to 2, bumped the peep sight up again. So down with the peep, back up. And I'm getting to the lefts. And I think it's because my face is just shaped so round like this. So if I'm scrunching, I can push them left and a little high. So bumped it up and the lefts disappear. Bumped it up and the lefts disappear was what I'm hoping for. But it's a new bow. Nobody's paying me to go shoot. I don't have to win any big money to pay my rent with. So tear it apart. If it ain't right, start tinkering with it. Y'all go look at Paige Pierce's videos over the last couple of days. She's talked about loop height and how to get your peep sight here and here and your loop height here to there, and really a good process on what it looks like craziness. Like if somebody at the range is watching me tune this bow, 1, I can't shoot, and 2, I don't know what I'm doing tuning wise. So watching me try to navigate through a process that I have very little knowledge about or not might not have all the pieces there to accomplish what I'm trying to do. It looks like a crazy person because you shoot, and you crank the wrenches out, and you shoot another and crank it again, try this and try that. And best advice I can give you is what Rick Gilly told me. Only change one thing at a time. Don't change 5 things at once. So right now the plan with the indoor bow is do everything to it except add stabilizer weight. I'm gonna keep that's always been my go-to plan. I don't think that's a fix for having your peep sight wrong, having your D loop in the wrong position, having your not tiller tuning. It's not a band-aid for everything that you can do to your bow for free. It's free. I mean, you don't have to buy anything to tiller tune. That's what Steve Wingo goes on forever about, how you don't need a back bar. You just need to tiller tune it, but you can't sell them a tiller tune. You can sell them a back bar. So there's all kind of things you can do to your bow to make it perform better without just slapping the weight on. And when you need to get the weight on it, crank it up, throw it on there.
I'm with you.
8 on the front, 12 on the back.
I don't mind wearing out a set of Allen wrenches. I'm with you.
Yep.
And I do tinker, but I call my tinkering testing. That way I just feel better about it. I'm testing. I do measure, I do check, I take pictures. That way I can take it back to where it was before we get going. What errors you flinging down right now?
27 PS 27s, Black Eagle, 350 spine, 250 in the nose, pin knock, Spider Hunter pin knock on the end of it, Q2I vanes. I think they're 2.5. So actually my 3D vanes didn't have any 3 or 4 inches, but I'm going to need to cut down my bits clamp when I get those 4-inch ones in, because I'm just a little bit out on the edge. I'm going to trim that Bitzenberger clamp down. I've seen a lot of people do that and having trouble keeping both ends connected to the shaft at one time. So I think I got a date with a chop saw coming up.
The only thing I changed on mine is I went to 225 tips.
Okay.
I noticed after I got back shooting, and I started after my week and a half of blank bailing, I went to 20 yards, and I absolutely noticed that I did feel like my shots were diving off, nosing off, and it wasn't weights. So I went to 225, retuned it. I say tuned, bare shafted, and I like them. I do like them. I thought of the 220s, but 225 seems to be really nice. Will I try them in the future? I don't know. But right now I'm shooting the 225s.
Going pretty good.
Yeah. The things that I missed this weekend wasn't due to diving off, falling that. It was just seriously, well, like yesterday, I was texting with you, end 8. Man, I hit a wall. I was done strength wise. That was it. I had dropped, what did I tell you? 2 points.
Two points through 8, and then shot an 8 on 8.
Yeah. And it's like, okay. And then from that point, I couldn't hold it. I was done with strength. So I feel better because shoot, a week, 10 days ago, I couldn't get past the 4th end. So I know I'm building back up. So I'm hoping within a couple more weeks, I'll be able to shoot a full game. Yeah.
Yep. It's how much holding weight does it need to be forgiving? Now, can you hold that holding weight?
Yeah.
Does it shoot for you? Does it shoot good the first 3 ends and then kind of questionable, and the last little bits just can't hold it up under pressure?
My holding weight. That's probably what it is. I need to drop it.
Dave's one of the few people that can put his bow in a bow scale and let go of it without it dry firing. The weight of it alone will keep it down.
Yeah, it's not much.
I've seen people do that. It makes me so nervous. I can't stand it.
Yeah. Well, I'm old. Okay. What can I say?
Well, you got another one you can put together right there.
It's together. All I can do is pick it up and put a set of sights on it. Yeah. I can pick it up and shoot it. So
I was paper tuning the other day, and the 27s were perfect and the 23s were ugly, and I got to shoot the 23s for one tournament. It's like, I just don't think I'm going to move anything on the bow. I think I'm just going to sight in with them and go for it.
Yeah.
Probably going to be. It's 20 yards. I've seen people win Vegas with a 4-inch left hair, no back bar on their bow. It can be done. I mean, shooting clean 900s. That's what people did back not too long ago.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a imperfect solution to a temporary problem.
But I also seen people win NASCAR races driving Plymouths that were 1970s and big old wings on the back. Things have improved and changed since then. So I do believe that the way that they have redone these bows, that there's certain things that may be needed. It's not necessary, but maybe needed. The one of the only things, I can't say the only thing, one of the only things I haven't tried with this new bow is the back bar coming off of the front. I just haven't tried that yet. I don't think my hold isn't my issue. It's the release hand. It's holding, it's there. Mine's the release hand. So I've got to continue working on convincing myself that it's okay to shoot. So until I get to where I can't hold it, then I may try that. But right now, that's not the issue. Yeah.
I was only getting those weird lefts on ones that I wasn't getting a real clean shot. So going back to Sly Cooper, let your hand get longer and longer and stretch out. Don't none of that. This is not a paddle shifting race car apparatus. So don't get it there and snap shoot it. Just let yourself be surprised by it. But you got to shoot it with confidence. You can't go into it. Can't go into it wishy washy. It's not going to aim. It's not going to follow through the right way. So
yeah,
put that RPM in the red and start relaxing into it, and it's going to break clean.
Pedal to the metal.
If I could take my own advice indoor, I'd be a 300 Vegas shooter. I mean, I'd be right there if I just listened to the guy holding my bow. But you get in there, start overthinking it, and try to indoors silly because it's like when you say first in for score, you try to aim too hard. You try to don't miss now, do it all careful. No, do it just like you were doing it. If you shoot 6 X's in practice and shoot an 8 the first in for score, nothing changed except for you. So something about your nerves is coming through that bow.
I will tell you, Saturday I had some fun stuff going on, and it's been over a year since I stood on a line with a timer. The few leagues that's going on around here, I haven't been able to shoot because of my shoulder. So I stood there, and I want you to know that first end, I don't think I had enough weight on my bow. That thing was swinging.
Chris Hammond will tell you shoot off starts put an ounce on the front to start with.
Oh man,
I've seen Sly do it for years. He's always adding to bow weight, back bar, front bar, you name it.
I probably could have done it, but I walked away going, man, that was fun. By the time they got to the first end, I was pretty good decent. I still felt it, yes, but I wasn't doing the true shaking. I felt like I was following my concept of my shot, and it was working. And so, yeah, I wasn't unhappy. Yeah.
It's always a good test, good benchmark.
Yeah, it was. And like I said, I walked out of there and I told myself, study what happened, figure it out, and let's devise a plan to work on it. And the number one thing in my plan, it wasn't anything to do with the bow. It wasn't the setup. It wasn't bars. It wasn't weights. It wasn't nothing. I literally, my plan was my release. I need to work on getting comfortable making it work. So I was really pleased with half of the show. Yeah.
So this is the time of year to work on yourself, work on your process. Figure it out before 3D starts is all I can tell you, because we're going to put you on the side of a mountain at 50, 60 yards in the wind and the cold and the sun and the mosquitoes and everything else. So take advantage of your indoor time. It's perfect lighting, perfect footing, no wind.
No, wait a minute. You're not going to put me on the side of a mountain.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
There's no way you're getting out of it this year.
Yeah. Oh, there is a way. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, dang gummit. No.
Cooking competitions. Yeah. Well, for everybody out there that's perfected their form, and there's nothing you could possibly improve on, let's talk about some new gear. Because when your form lets you down, buying new gear is the next step, right? I mean,
that's what we want to believe. I don't. Yeah. Let's start with yesterday. I know it released a day or two ago, but yesterday I seen a new release that True Ball put out. Gosh, I'm going to try to pronounce the name, but I know I'm going to mess it up. Aileron, something like that.
It's the airplane HBC.
That's
think
it.
it's the same head as the executive, the HBC Flex. Kind of
head of the executive. The executive has a dual moon.
Okay. Is this one? This one doesn't adjust up and down, but it adjusts this way, so it changes the way it feels in your fingers there.
Yeah, but what I was getting at is the HBC and the executive have different heads. The HBC is you change out the moon for your click speed. The executive has dual moons that you can adjust infinitely on that.
Okay. I remember Brandon Reyes on the video said that you do have to take it apart to change the moons. So closer to the HBC head. I just meant they were shaped the same way. The executive is the one that moves up and back.
Yeah.
Adjustable as far as length, so you don't have to retie your D loop over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, those. But it's got. It was neat. They said that it will help. Maybe what was it? Left and rights. The way that you grip and you pull your movements will change in the direction of the thickness in your hand and stuff. So it might help with that. So you need to get one so we can figure it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard. It's hard when Dave's your go-to salesman. All his releases are size large, and I shoot a size small.
Huh?
So, oh yeah, it's and Dan's just as bad. Dan doesn't shoot the minis or the smalls. So those are who I get most of my used gear from. So find somebody out there that has the same size gear as you and make friends with them. Kyle Anderson. We can swap arrows forever.
There you go. Yeah.
Everybody else's are 30.5 inches long. You hate to cut down a good carbon. But yeah, they've got like a paddle almost coming out right where your digits sit, and it just changed the thickness on left side or right side. So it's got a diagonal screw going this way and a diagonal screw going that way, and it flares them out basically. That's gonna be a game changer. They can put that on any release, make them feel kind of universal, and then go customize from there. So
it was thinking outside the box. Yeah.
That's what I love about True Ball. They're always putting something new on something that's already awesome. Like I'm simple. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're trying to figure out how to put a new set screw any different place on this bow.
My one thing. Okay, I'm all in on that, but make all the Allen heads the same. Don't make me search for 2 and 3 different Allen heads to adjust my release. That's
or put them on the same one. Have one side and one the other.
I'm just saying throughout the whole release, this adjustment takes this one, this adjustment takes that one. I mean, make it simple.
I know. That's why I don't change mine ever. Never hotter, never colder. Just switch to a different release. I've boogered every screw head I've ever come in contact with. So that's and I've got extra ones on a lot of them. So go to Fastenal, go to the Rule Company in Tulsa somewhere that's got little fasteners and stuff like that. Ace Hardware will sometimes have what you need. But yeah, have an extra with you. If you're going to be playing with it, have a backup, because when that screw goes and you can't get it out and you got to go put your bow back together and it doesn't move, well, that's where we're at.
And I seen a new wrist rocket release, and I don't remember anything about it. So if anybody else can think and know what it was, put it in the comments down here so we can bring that up on the next one.
Yeah, I say they're always coming up with something new. I don't know how they could come up with anything on a wrist rocket to change it. Honestly, it amazes me that they can change the design or do anything different to it. But they've got them back tension now, single caliper, dual caliper, you name it.
Yeah. And sometimes them just good old little gooses are just about as good as it gets.
It's simple, and you always need 6 or 7 of them so you can give one away. Somebody's getting started. Here, shoot this till it quits working, and come back. I'll give you another one.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I remember shooting with the ones that were classified to glove. They fit around and in, and it was an old glove hunting one. And I want to say True Flight, but that doesn't sound right. You would pull the trigger, and it was one of those relaxed tensions to make it go off. I got that in my drawer out in the house still, and it was where the loop was on the release, and the loop went around the bowstring. a rope
Yep.
release. Yeah, remember that? Yeah, I still got a. Oh my gosh, it was a T handle one, not True Temper. Oh well, it's irrelevant. I'm getting old, but
I've
yeah,
seen them.
yeah,
I've seen them. I bet Frank Welch has got 3 or 4 of them. If not, Dwayne Westfall does.
yep,
You can
yeah.
find them.
Well, that's all I got release wise. There's been some bows come out.
Yeah, they dropped a whole bunch of them here.
Yeah, PSE dropped the first one there, the one that I've got, and now it's vanished. I haven't heard one, maybe two reviews on YouTube about it. It was kind of like a soft opening, and you ain't heard nothing else about that one, so we can't even talk about it. So I don't know who's going to have it or what. So
I know Elite dropped their new ones. They got a whole line. Everybody's getting their exalts in. Shout out to Ronnie Plummer. Took his out day one, and won the jackpot with it last week. He set it
wow,
up the
that's
day
awesome.
before. So, there's a honeymoon phase with every bow, but it'll shoot. Just they had the super short one that's like 29-inch, 27 or 8-inch axle to axle. They had 4 or 5 of them they released. Then Matthews comes out with their new ones. Got the title 34 and 40 to add. So 34, 36, 38, and 40. Saw Tim Gillingham setting his up. I want to know, how did they get away with using that set limb worm drive technology?
It's not a worm drive. It's not encroaching in on the Bowtech world. It is only moving one limb on one side. That cam and axle is solid on, I don't know, right side, left side. It's around, I don't know, but it seems like it's solid on one side. It doesn't move. The cam does not move from center shot. Only the limb moves, which turns the cam itself. It's only moving one limb, and that's the reason it's called the limb set technology. It only works that way. Yeah, so that's how they circumvented that world. It's not a worm drive moving the cam left and right. It is literally just one limb, one side. Yeah.
They would have made a fantastic patent attorney.
No. That's too much smarts. You guys got too much smarts for me.
I can't even be a patent attorney because I didn't have you have to have an undergrad in a science background. And I don't mean political science. I mean real science. And then you take the bar exam, and then you take another bar exam to be a patent attorney. So they are they're like the all-star team for lawyers. They're not taking simple folks like me that wear cowboy boots to work every day.
Okay. They also have a grip change world on the new Matthews. It's all part of that integrated gripping, but I think you get 3, maybe 4 different grips with it.
Okay.
Width, height, angle. I think there's a lot of changes. Plus your side plates.
Okay. So they're going the Hoyt direction. Give you 6 grips with every bow.
And it's also a width versus just taking that away for the angle. And it seems like they partnered with, well, I can't say that on this one. Everything looks the same, but I don't know if they did with dadgummit, the scope that I'm shooting. Ultraview. Thank you. I kept going UV. Yeah. It almost looks like it might be their grip system, something they've got, because it's coming in their fancy magnetic box.
Well, they had the Matthews specific UV sight.
That's right.
So that they might have hopped in bed with the 3D printing champions of the archery world.
It did exactly look like their box, their foam on the inside. So there's a good chance that's what it is. They have the integrated sight system, rest, the bars. So all that is in there. So let's see. So they've got the grip system, the limbs. I'm trying to think if there's anything else new that they added to the 40 bow versus the 38. I don't think so. I think that pretty well kept it.
Anything to make them easier to tune. You
Yeah.
know, people are posting videos, takes 5 or 6 arrows to tune a bow. I know Dudley did that yesterday with about 3 RX9s. He said,
Oh,
yeah, they
wow.
were all 1 arrow wonders. And he's mostly testing arrows and like spine and point weight and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
y'all need to tune in to the people that know what they're doing. Not necessarily saying that's us, but they're giving you blueprints and plays to make these bows shoot the most efficient. So, you know, if you get in there and you can't get your paper tear right, or you can't get this and you don't want to shim it that way or this way, somebody's been through that. I guarantee you there's a video on YouTube, somebody going through exactly it. And if
Yep.
not, call your buddies over and tear that thing apart.
Oh, that's right. There's definitely lots of changes that they brought out, or Matthew specifically had brought out for the new bows, and which we knew they were. We all suspected, I can say, not that we knew, we all suspected that something was on the horizon. We had heard that, but yeah.
Eagerly awaiting. This is a crazy season in archery because everybody's dropping new bows and dropping pros and signing pros and moving everything's up in the air right before Christmas. So
yeah, there's been a lot. I've seen a lot of that on the socials, leaving this company, going to that company, or leaving a company and not going to any company.
yep, that's another one.
That's
Another
right.
one. See all these guys making different business decisions and trying to make money while they're shooting their bow. It's like, well, there's only a handful of people in the world that do that. Everybody else has got a day job.
And there's one in particular. My hat's off to him. He knows what wins for him, and he's not going to sign a contract. He's just going to go shoot what works.
There you go. Talking about Mr. Thacker.
Yes, sir.
Big old lefty, been with Hoyt forever. Shout out to Donnie Thacker. Handled that transition with as much class as I've seen anybody in the, because everybody says, oh, we've decided to go different ways. No, they didn't. They just didn't pay you any more money. Like that's what it is. What it is. It's an industry. You know, it's there to make money. And he didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't dance around it. He goes, I'm just going to shoot my bow. That's what you want to see from these pros. Like he knows what's gonna work for him. He knows what's available to him. He's going to use every tool at his disposal to stay at the absolute top of the game. So, hats off to the guy.
Yeah.
A lot of people leaving Hoyt. Aaron McGlattery's leaving Hoyt. Neil Cooley not shooting Hoyt next year. I mean,
absolute. My point exactly.
You see, they got their new ones out. I've seen people shooting perfect 900s with it. Front bar out of the low hole out front. That's a different look. I haven't seen anybody except for Chris Simmons do that in 10 years. Might be something to it. You never know.
Yeah. Who knows?
So what else we got?
What all was the difference in the Concept X? Isn't it a complete new bow, new cams, new everything, right?
They trashed the Stratos. They sure did. They moved on. They got a new cam and a new bow. I think half the problem with the Stratos is they tried to slap the SVX cam on it, and it was designed for the HBT. The problem was the HBT just wasn't it. It just, I mean, some people got it to shoot really well. I got it to tear some servings up on my cams, strings, everything else. But you could always go back to the spiral, but the riser was not designed for the SVX cam. So now they've moved on to the bow and axed both the cams. Mm-hmm. So they designed one cam for one bow, and that's all they're offering. So, you know, hats off to them. Run a play and stick to your guns. You know, don't get wishy-washy when the engineers tell you what's going to work and what's not. I hate to see the spiral cam go because that's been a staple in the target archery industry on the Hoyt side for years. But every one of those pros will tell you, yeah, the new one's great. This new one's great. But that's their job to say that. You know, you can go get one of those bows. You find somebody at the range that's about your height and say, hey, can I shoot that? And figure it out for yourself. Because some people really, really like a soft, spongy cam that's forgiving, and other people like a hard back wall that, you know, is kind of snappy. And you're the only person that's going to know at full draw if that engineer hit the mark or not. So I say I'll take everything with a grain of salt till you try it for yourself. But, you know, not trashing any companies. I'll be the first one to tell you all bows do the same thing, is repeat over and over. It's what you tune to them. It's how you hold them. It's how you shoot them.
Yeah. It's what fits your body and your bow and your body mechanics. Yeah. And if you can find the archery equipment that fits that movement in the way that you move it, that's what you got to go with. And that's why I stick with what I do. And I like that style of a shot. I guess that's what a lot of people call it, that style of a shot. That's
Mm-hmm.
the style of shot I like. And that's why I got to stick with what I stick with. Yeah.
So Greg Thompson will tell you he's got a very static shot. So when he's picking out bows, he's just looking for something that jives with how he likes to shoot or what his shot process is like. So you can narrow a lot of options down. He went from a PSE that I really like shooting to a Title 38, 36, something like that. And he had them set up very similar, and I like shooting both of them. You know, it was, I think I shot mine a little bit. I shot a dart and I shot a PSE. I shot his new Matthews. So find somebody that likes to shoot your same style of shot, you know, really, really pulling into it or really not pulling into it, or heavy on the front bar down low, back bar off the front, back bar off the back.
Yeah.
There's a million different recipes to set up a bow.
That's
They're
right.
all it's all the same six ingredients, you know.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about the Elite, the Hoyt, the Matthews, touched on the PS. Have we brought up the new Darton? I don't even remember.
We have not brought up the new Darton yet, as much as we should be talking about it. It is
Let's do it.
The Sequel 35. Fast like a hunting bow, smooth like a target bow. See, I was coming from a 36 and a 34. I'm be going to a 35 and a 33, so very similar. Y'all got to try those ST squared or ST2 cams. It's a great improvement on the Sequel's draw cycle from last year. It's fast, it's snappy, and you get a lot of variation between the two draw stops. He's got a hard and a soft, or a small and a big. So if you want to take a little bit of draw length out, put those big draw stops on and get a little bit more holding weight, and they are it's smooth. I mean, I was pulling 69 pounds feeling like it was 63, 64, something like that. So difference. Get a lot of speed out of them. Very stable, very, very smooth. Right now, everybody's in the target world's waiting on the new Exodus Pro, and if you're normal person size, you're waiting on the short draw cam. I think it maxes at 29.5. So for everybody out there, you know, years and years they wanted to shoot the end of the cam. You want to be at the most efficient point of that, either mod or cam or wherever that cam rolls over all the way. This is going to be a great one because usually it's, you know, 26 to 31 draw or 28 to 32 or whatever the range is. And everybody that's, you know, 5'10" to 6 foot even is kind of on the short side of it because they got to build bows for people that are, well, shaped like Dave, you know, wingspan of 89 and a quarter, need a 33-inch draw. You're having to put that cam all the way back that goes to it to get fully rolled over. Well, it's going to get some good speed and some good efficiency there. I'm not an engineer, but that's kind of been a time-old, tested, true fact, not a myth, a fact. I remember facts are not opinions anymore on the Oklahoma Archery podcast. So what Darton did is they decided they were going to make a 29.5 max to get everybody on the shorter side. I don't want to say shorter side. You can be 6'1" and shoot a 29.5-inch draw. But to get that extra additional optimal cam efficiency for the rest of us, as I call us, you know. So I think they've made a couple improvements to where the draw lengths, they'll go down lower even. And then they've got the max 29.5. So that's the one that I'm hoping comes in next. That's the one I keep checking the mailbox for. I love the Exodus from last year. I'm having a ton of fun shooting it. 37-inch target bow, 54 pounds, 55 is what it's set at with a whole bunch of holding weight. And it's been fun to tinker on, you know, because we don't have a big tournament coming up that I have to be at. And it's like, man, I'm just trying to figure out my shot, my equipment, learn to not take stuff for granted, like how high your peep is, how high your loop is, all these things that we just kind of glass right over them and say, well, my draw length's 28 and set it at 28 and go. Well, you'll do all kinds of stuff to get to full draw to get into that. You'll do all kinds of stuff to your form and your alignment to make a bow fit. Let's just start with a blank slate. You know, I don't know what, if somebody asked me, what's the holding weight on it? I said, I only think about it as more or less. I haven't measured it. You know, same thing with the draw length on it. I know when I'm too far back and I know when I'm scrunching to get into it. So I'm not really focused and fascinated with the number. I've got records of it. I'll do measure stuff, but I haven't checked it since I've, retuned it and retimed it and done all this and that to it. So it's good to go back periodically and check in with stuff like that. So we're excited about the Dartons coming out. I don't know what I'm going to shoot 3D with. I'm hoping it's that 35. I think that's what it's going to be. I might end up hunting with it. I don't know. I was telling somebody that at the store the other day. They were looking at the new Hoyt and the new Matthews. I said, "You shot the Darton?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "You shot the 35?" He goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, I bought it thinking it was going to be my target rig just for 3D, and I might be killing deer with it come October next year. So it's at that time,
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty versatile.
It just gives you options, and it lets you do a lot of different things. I'd hate to have to tear a 3D bow down and get it ready for hunting season, but if it's working and you like the draw length and the peep's in the right spot, don't be afraid to tear it apart. You're not as short on time as you think. I'm always frantic because there's a tournament 3 weekends from now and I'm not ready. And you got plenty of time to do it right, to test it, as Dave says. Don't tinker, test it.
Test it. It's not tinker and it's testing. Yeah.
It's just frustrations being manifested through a set of wrenches is what it is. And mental instability.
All right. We're indoor season. There's no reason to talk about anything but indoor season. But as it says right there below your name, you are the Oklahoma State Director for the ASA. Rumor has there's a new rule coming in. What can you give these guys and gals clarification on that they may be pushed back to 60 yards?
If you are a known pro shooter in the men's division, there is a 97.9% chance you will shoot 60 yards next year. We haven't heard officially from nationals on rule changes, clarifications, new classes, anything. But last I heard, there was going to be a 60-yard class just for the pros, not the women, not the seniors, just the men's pros and not the yardage judgers. So in Oklahoma, we've got all kinds of pros, but most of them are either seniors or yardage judgers. So for all the ranges out there, I don't think it's going to be something that you have to go rent a bulldozer and cut 10 extra yards on every lane. That's not what we don't have any known pros that I know of in Oklahoma. We got some 50-yard semi pros known, and we got some 50-yard open pros and some semi pros, but nobody that I know of shoots the 18 to 50 open pro men's division in Oklahoma ASA that I know of.
And let's say the rule changes. These ranges still don't have to go set it at 60. It's just that is a new max. Just because it's the new max doesn't mean that you have to then go put them out there at 60. So yeah, we've been hearing that, and I wanted everyone to get it straight from Neil that nothing is official, true, but it's not going to affect the state tournaments and the amateur classes and all that.
Yeah, it's going to be the same product you've seen played out year after year. So, I think last year they did great with the 145 class. I'm hoping they come up with something genius like that again, because it worked. You saw the numbers year one. It was a huge class. So they're always looking for different ways to, change what already works and get rid of what doesn't work. And they're like any other organization. They make real-time changes, and, you got to make some hard decisions, like stuff like getting rid of the trad class and combining it with bare bow. And at Oklahoma, they gave us the freedom to say, if you guys want to have a trad class, you keep having one. If you have people there and we do, we have great trad turnout in Oklahoma. So there's no reason to make that one go away. But if you're from a state that doesn't have it, well, you don't need another class. So they give us a lot of leeway to do what's best for our state, and I appreciate them working with us like that. Everybody thinks they come in and tell us what to do. Well, they might do that because they want it to be a uniform, clean run organization. But before they get there, they're asking us for opinions and emails and chime in and send us numbers and what did you guys see and what did you think? So there's a ton that goes into, the ASA federation, or, it's a multitude of states, and you get to be in a room with, 30 or 40 people that run in a similar organization, half a world away in New York or New Jersey or, way up north somewhere. It's like, what do you got? What works for y'all? What was your successes from the last year? And how can I piggyback on that. I think it was Kentucky that paid all the kids that shot their state championships entry fees to Coleman. So that was, something like, yeah, we're going to do that 100%. I think the kids' entry's $20 or 10 or 20, $30 at the most. So it wasn't $50 a head like the adults. So yeah, just little stuff like that gets people involved and gives them another avenue to go shoot their bow. 100% behind it.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Well, I know we're 80 some days from y'all's first national shoot. So we'll bring it back up in 75 days.
Yep. Like I say, we're the things that we do know is they're going to let us. Here's your breaking news bulletin. They're going to let us start 2026 after Coleman. I think they'd opened it up to September. Obviously, October you're going to have a lot of people deer season and people in the deer woods. But we're going to get to have a couple of qualifiers to start off 2026 in the fall of 25. It was something.
Okay. State level qualifiers.
Yes, state level qualifiers. Looking at the last weekend of August, we've got an opportunity to go to Woodward. They have a big hunting and expo show out there. It's got two big giant buildings on the side of it. And I got cold called. Somebody said, "Are you the guy that puts on archery tournaments, 3D tournaments?" I said, "Yeah, I've done, kind of, mostly the clubs," but she was wanting us to have an indoor 3D. So she gave us two big old buildings right off the side of the expo in Woodward. I think it's the last weekend in August. We're going to try to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some kind of indoor. We're getting Vaughn McLean out of retirement to come help us with that. Doug and Cindy Miner are going to help us. Haskell's going to help us. Got some safety nets for us and stuff like that. So we got a lot of people that were involved with the indoor 3D coming back out and saying, it's a venue that they've offered us at no cost to our organization. So if they want some, extra participation, we're going to kick it off in late August. We got a couple of clubs that have signed on for August and September of 2026. So you might be able to get your 6 shooter of the year scores before you ever kill a deer for 2026.
Wow. That's thinking, hey, your calendar's full. You can't put another one in. So let's expand the calendar, not put in. I like that.
It was made out of necessity for the northern states that don't thaw until May or June. They get 2 qualifiers and then state championship. And they're like, well, can we do it in the fall? And it's like, yes. Can I do it in the fall? I said, yeah. I was like, yes. I love it. Got some ranges that have reached out that might have wanted a second qualifier, but the weekends were kind of short and you don't want to send people 2 different directions. But I realize we don't run it like some states where they only get 1 qualifier. If they want a second qualifier, I'm going to try to accommodate. I just need everybody to play nice with each other and, go north-south or go east and west, one of the two. So we're going to have some additional weekends, try to do them in conjunction with some other events, trying to schedule around OSAA and stuff like that. You don't want to split the pot. You want everybody driving the same direction. Like we're planning first weekend of May, a big Oklahoma Am where they come shoot 2 rounds, do a little team shoot off up in the northeast corner between Odd Vein Out and Big Creek 3D. So that's going to be the first weekend of May. And as it turns out, happy accidents, there's no small coincidences in archery. Tulsa Archery was just, less than an hour away from there. That same weekend is having the OSAA state marked 3D. So you can come up and shoot the Oklahoma ASA Am, do team shoot 2 rounds. We're going to have a drawing for all the winners, podium finishers for every class for $1,000 cash prize. And you can go shoot the OSAA state championship less than an hour away on the same weekend. So you got Saturday, Sunday there and Friday through Sunday for the ASA. If you're driving, it's right by Claremore. You're going to go get you a hotel, stay the whole weekend and shoot, 320 target rounds. You're going to see 3 ranges in 3 days is what you're going to get to do.
Absolutely.
Team shoot off, cash drawing, you name it. We're going to run it as close to like Paris as we can. Hopefully by then we'll have the live stream capabilities for out in the field. That's going to be a whole different thing. I hope it doesn't rain because you're going to see me run faster than Big Man ever has.
Well, Neil, I think that's touching a time limit that I had in mind because I need to get back at it and everything. Is there anything else you want to throw in, bring up, whatever?
Y'all go get you some Butcher Barbecue brine. Tell them the name of the honey dusted. What's that stuff I like?
Honey rub.
Honey rub. That's what Dave calls me when we're not on air.
Now that's just between us.
So y'all go get you some. They ship it out every day. You're running out of days. If you're not brining your bird pretty quick, probably ought to be getting on it.
That's right. Everybody, go stand on the line, get behind the clock. Appreciate all the well wishes that was sent to me. And Neil, maybe
One more
next time.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
Jim Yancy, great Oklahoma archer.
Been around for years, sir.
Gonna miss him a lot. He was a great guy. Anybody that talked about him. So I met him at our state championship just real briefly, and he was just a ball of energy. He was so excited to be there, seeing everything. Jim's no longer with us. They're going to have his, I think his memorial service December 5th at the Oklahoma City Gun Club. I think they said it was noon to 3. Might check that post. If anybody out there has any pictures of Jim, any memories we'd like to share with his wife, Kathy, and keep them in our
brand new bow that I ever bought. Jim was a salesman, and it was at Fred Baker's Firearms. Outdoor America, there down off of 23rd Street. He was a salesman. He was shooting a Browning bow at that time. Yeah, shooting for Browning. And I remember he sold that PSE Fireflight Express to me. And I also know, hats off and it's very honoring that the Oklahoma City Gun Club is going to name one of their ranges after him, the Jim Yancy Memorial Range. That's so cool. That is great. Yeah.
Y'all go appreciate these people that are here while you got them. Yeah, it's not forever.
That's right. Neil, we'll see you on the flip flop.
Y'all be good.
Bye.